Hello, welcome to Systems Tuesdays. Yes, I paid someone to learn my chaos, and I lost a good employee along the way. So here's my story. Back in 2003, I started my company. We were growing quickly. I had already hired for house cleaners. I had already hired for trainers, so that was going well, and even had some inspectors. But it was time for me to get some help in the office. So I said, okay, I'm ready to bring on an assistant manager. Started the process of ads, brought somebody on board, great talent. But as I was growing so quickly, things were changing. As you can imagine, as a small business owner, certain things started landing on my desk, and I kept doing some of them. Some of them I would give to the assistant manager. You can do this now. You can do this now. You can do this now. And I was flying by the seat of my pants. And that level of ambiguity, great for me as an entrepreneur, is what I'm used to. But not many folks particularly want to work in an environment with that much chaos and unknown going on. So unfortunately, I lost a really good employee because I didn't do the work in the beginning. So at the time, when I lost the employee, I thought, hey, wait a second, you know what? I'll just go and maybe find another employee. But before I did that, thankfully, I did do some introspection, and I really thought to myself, wait, maybe I'm the common denominator here, because I realize that I create the environment in the office, no one else. So if it's a great environment and people are staying, I get that, yay, that's me. But if it's an environment where people are turning over and leaving, I also have to look at that and be like, yeah, that's me. So I did do some work, and I really worked on what do I want this person to do? I really listed all the different tasks of what was going on. Of course, it was a weekend, nice quiet time when everything was somewhat quiet that I could work on it. Listing out all the different duties. I looked at things that I could possibly eliminate, right? There were some things that just didn't need to be continued to be done as I was growing. Some things I could actually automate. Some things I could standardize. And those things that were standardized, of course, is where I was starting to use for that new position. So again, really thinking about, for me, I had to think about what is it that I wanted this person to do? And then once I was clear on that, then it made the world a difference. It was easier to hire. It was easier to identify the right candidates because I was clear on what I needed. It was easier to do pre-testing for these candidates because, again, I was clear, these are the things I need you to do. So I could kind of create some little tests, some real world scenarios to see how they will respond to that. And then, of course, once they were on board, performance reviews were a lot easier. They were given actually their performance review before, within their first 90 days. This is what I'm going to measure you on 12 months out. So they understood what numbers they needed to hit or needed to maintain at a minimum within the 12 months. So that clarity really lowered any type of people issues that may have been occurring before. And technology, really using technology as well. When I was thinking about those different positions, I was thinking, is there technology that I can use versus bringing a person on board? A silly example sometimes of technology, because some people think, they'll say to me, Sonja, I'm ready to hire a virtual assistant. I'm like, okay, tell me what these positions are. So some of it is scheduling. I need somebody to help with scheduling. So I recently got an email from some friends, and they wanted to get together. Yay, for me. And their email shooting back and forth. And I eventually just sent a doodle. I said, well, do the doodle. And everybody did the doodle, and then it was done. It just saved that level of emails going back and forth, saved time. So technology can be our friend. Another one, of course, that in the business world, Calendly. So if somebody needs to schedule an appointment with me, they can go onto my website, the button, Calendly takes care of it, and that information flows right into my CRM, so it doesn't require me to have to re-enter that data. So using technology to help us in terms of the hiring process. So first, we're going to eliminate it. Is there anything in the position? First, we need to sit down and think about what are all the positions? What are the duties that we want them to do? Okay, we're listing all the duties. Next, of those duties, can any of them be eliminated? Is it really necessary? Not this is how we've always done it, but is it really necessary? So now we're going to eliminate. Then, can anything be automated with technology? Out of all these duties, can we automate it? All right. Then we're looking at, okay, can we standardize any of these items where it's something that's a little bit more routine? If we have done those type of homework, then we're now ready to consider hiring. Now, of course, you could do it your way, and that's great. If your termination rate or your staff, they're sticking with you for a long period of time, you're good. You're golden. But if you see in your scenario of hiring that folks are coming in, they're leaving, you're getting frustrated, they're getting frustrated, termination rate somewhat high, It may be some time to do some introspection to see, are you the common denominator? Are your processes, the processes that you have in place, are they causing the chaos in the office? Again, for me, I had to learn the hard way. I lost some good people because of the chaos that I had going on in my office. But I am thankful that I have kind of figured it out, found something a little bit more routine that allows me to have one of the lowest terminations in the franchise. That's my story. That's my testimonial for today. If you enjoyed the conversation, please consider subscribing to Systems with Sonja. We do this every Tuesday. I'll release a video. Also, if you're in the DC area and you want to come out and discuss these topics with us, come out to our Women Who Scale event. That's my educational side. No cost to attend. We meet on the third Tuesday of every month, and you can register at womenwhoscale.org. And then finally, look forward to seeing how we are creating businesses here that have good systems and little chaos. See you next week.